In a previous video on the channel, I covered my review of the new Warlock exotic boots that came with Season of the Haunted, the Rain of Fire. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of builds that you can use with the Rain of Fire in PVE, how to make it effective, how to use the artifact mods this season to make it even more effective, and then also doing stuff to make it effective outside of the season. But before we get into it, if you do need help with the Duality Dungeon, I will be doing dungeon carries throughout the season live on Twitch, twitch.tv/ItsDaveTVGaming. Again, go over there. I stream 3 times a week. Majority of the time we are doing dungeon carries for new people. We've already taken 20 plus people through the dungeon. Some of the people have gotten the sword on the first try, which is very upsetting because I haven't got it yet. But the second thing you need to do is also join my Discord. That link will be in the description. That's going to be the best way for us to communicate and everything. I might be going live on YouTube as well, so just keep a lookout. Obviously, with Solar 3.0, Restoration ×2 comes in clutch. Restoration ×1 is great, but ×2 is absolutely insane. You can survive a lot of stuff. And obviously, this season, you can have something like Classy Restoration, which anytime you use a class ability, automatically makes it ×2, which is just absolutely bonkers. And again, I just have Phoenix Dive on. You can have any of these on, it doesn't really matter, but I highly recommend pairing Ember of Empyrean, which again, any solar weapon or ability final blows extend Restoration and Radiant, and then also Ember of Souls, which allows those effects to last longer. And again, we become Radiant just by getting kills with the fusion rifle, which is really easy. So again, being able to, again, I'm just gonna do my Phoenix Dive here, Restoration ×2, I get a kill, I can extend it, kills. And again, look, Restoration and Radiant pretty much stays up almost constantly. Now let's say we're out of this current season, Classy Restoration is no longer a thing. How do we get Restoration ×2? On the Warlock in particular, there are 2 ways to do it. The first one is a little difficult. So I'm pairing Phoenix Dive with Heat Rises, and I just said the Firebolt Grenade. Again, you can use whatever grenade. The only reason I'm using this one is because it has the fastest cooldown. So pretty much Phoenix Dive. The main thing here is that while you have Heat Rises, you gain Restoration while diving and scorch targets upon landing. The problem with this is that Restoration only lasts 2 seconds when you do the Phoenix Dive, right? And there's no way to get out of that animation beforehand to get a solar kill with a weapon or an ability. So I'm going to show you what I do. It's kind of stupid and difficult. So I'm going to eat my grenade. I'm going to fly. I'm going to melee. Then I'm going to do my Phoenix Dive. Again, now I have Restoration for a couple of seconds here, more than 2. 2 is pretty much the entire animation, and then I can continue to have Restoration. Kind of difficult, I know, but that's just one way to do it. So the other way of doing this, which unfortunately kind of wastes your grenade slot, but pairing the Touch of Flame with the Healing Grenade. Healing Grenade by itself without Touch of Flame just gives Restoration ×1. So if you want that, that's fine. You can put on Heat Rises again. But with Touch of Flame, your Healing Grenade has improved strength with Cure and Restoration, which allows it to proc ×2. So again, I'm just going to run in here, pop the grenade on myself, Restoration ×2 for 6 seconds, and again, Ember of Empyrean, all that, I can just get a massive amount of kills and constantly have my health up. So I have a couple things I'll show you, but this is the main build that I've been using that I've found extremely effective, because the main thing here with this is being able to give Vex Mythoclast a massive damage bonus, right? So I'm just going to go over what I'm using. Super, doesn't matter. I'm just pairing Phoenix Dive with the Firebolt Grenade like I showed you to get Restoration ×2, so I don't have to use a Healing Grenade. And also Classy Restoration is not going to be here next season, more than likely, because Arc 3.0. Just got Burst Glide on, Incinerator Snap, and then the aspects I have is Heat Rises. Again, you can fire your weapons, throw melee, throw grenade, all while gliding. If you consume a grenade, you get Heat Rises, which gives you some healing effects. And the other main thing is Final Blows while airborne increase the duration of Heat Rises and grant melee energy. And then Icarus Dash for obvious reasons. Again, you can press your dodge button, and then while you have Heat Rises, you get an additional dodge. So again, that's going to be the main thing, because you reload whenever you have Icarus Dash, which is really freaking awesome. Aspect-wise, the 2 main ones that I'm going to talk about is Ember of Empyrean. Again, like I mentioned, Solar and Ability Weapon Final Blows extend duration of Restoration and Radiant. And then Ember of Solace, it has those at an increased duration. And then the other 2 I have here is Ember of Singeing. Your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. Again, I'm scorching them with the Incinerator Snap. If I get my grenade back and I still have Restoration, Firebolt does a lot of scorch to a lot of targets. So again, I don't have to use my Phoenix Dive, but again, if I do have to use it, this is going to help out with that. Then I have Ember of Searing. Defeating scorched targets grants melee energy. Again, Heat Rises. I should have my melee fairly often, so I think that'll be a huge help to me. On my helmet, the main thing to note here is Elemental Charge. Become Charge of Light by picking up an Elemental Well. If the Elemental Well's elemental type matches your subclass element, you gain 2 stacks of Charge of Light, which again, we're going to be trying to create Solar Elemental Well, so we get ×2 of Charge of Light. On my gauntlets, main thing to note, High Energy Fire. While Charge of Light, you gain a bonus to weapon damage. Each defeated combatant consumes 1 stack of Charge of Light. For my chest piece, main thing to note is Font of Might. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type grants a temporary bonus to weapon damage of that same elemental type. Again, we're going to be trying to create solar wells, so solar weapons will get that bonus, aka Vex Mythoclast will get a bonus to the damage. On my boots, main thing to note, Quick Charge. You become Charge of Light by rapidly defeating multiple combatants with fusion rifles or shotguns, and I just have the added bonus of having greatly increased ready speed for fusions, shotguns, submachine guns, and swords. But the main thing here is, again, if we're going to be using Vex Mythoclast and wiping out adds, we're going to become Charge of Light pretty much automatically. And then on my class item, I have Elemental Armaments. Again, combatant weapon final blows with the damage type that matches your subclass elemental type have an escalating chance to spawn an elemental well. Again, solar weapons, solar subclass, solar elemental well, and then also flame harvesting. Solar exotic final blows create solar elemental wells. Now, I will admit that it doesn't do it on every kill with Vex Mythoclast or any other exotic. There is a slight cooldown, but you can get this up very often. If you're not catching the synergy here, pretty much, we're going to be creating solar elemental wells with elemental armaments and flame harvesting. Picking those up will give us Charge of Light, again, elemental charge, that'll make it ×2. And then obviously we'll have Font of Might for that bonus damage for solar weapons. And then obviously Charge of Light, High Energy Fire, another bonus to weapon damage. Oh, guess what? There's a chance to become Charge of Light whenever you get fusion rifle kills, aka Vex Mythoclast here. And also, you become Radiant whenever you get kills with fusion rifles, aka Vex Mythoclast. So you're having 3 damage bonuses stack on top of each other. You have Radiant, High Energy Fire, and Font of Might. All 3 of these stack. It has been tested. You can go look this up, I swear to God. And before we even get into a gunfight, again, I'm going to eat my grenade, Phoenix Dive, use my melee to get Restoration ×2 procced, and then just go crazy with Vex Mythoclast. So I basically have bonus damage, and I'm unkillable. Now, the other build I have is based around Classy Restoration, which we already talked about. Again, it's only for the season, but activating your class ability grants you Restoration, and for this, it's Restoration ×2, as I showed off earlier. I have Empowering Rift on this time, and then I put on Thermite Grenade, since I'm not going to need to consume the grenade to do the Phoenix Dive, which, again, doesn't matter which one of these does it, Classy Restoration is going to proc anyway, right? Same fragments, same aspects here. The only change that I did end up doing was I did end up putting on Melee Wellmaker. Again, powered melee combatant final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. Again, if we're already going to be using our Incinerator Snap with heat rises in midair, we're going to be able to get our melee back even quicker. Again, we still have High Energy Fire, we still have Font of Might, we still have Quick Charge, and we still have Elemental Armaments on here. Again, there's a couple of things you can switch out here and there, but this is what I've found to be the most consistent for the bonus to Vexed damage. Now, use this last build at your own risk, but this one's going to be focused around 2 of the seasonal mods. Again, Razor Precision. While Radiant, Solar Precision final blows cause combatants to ignite, which again, you become Radiant just by getting kills with fusion rifles, so you're pretty much almost always going to be Radiant. And then pairing that with Solar Fulmination, your ignitions do increased damage in an increased radius, and then also pairing that on the subclass with Ember of Eruption. Again, your solar ignitions have increased area of effect. The only thing that I changed around here is that I put on Touch of Flame with the healing grenade, because again, trying to do the Phoenix Dive with the consuming the grenade can be a pain in the butt. Plus, I just want that auto restoration ×2, because sometimes the ignitions have some blowback, and they will absolutely murk you. Again, the other fragments, again, we still have Ember of Empyrean and Solus. The other one I have is Ember of Blistering. Defeating targets with solar ignitions grants grenade energy, because again, what if I run out of that grenade? I might want to do that. But also, you can also replace this with something like Ember of Benevolence. Again, if you apply Restoration Cure or Radiant to any of your allies, you get an increase to your abilities, like your regeneration. So that ends up working out. And again, we still have Quick Charge and High Energy Fire paired together, and then also Font of Might for that extra bonus damage. And then again, Elemental Armaments. Now, the reason this is kind of tough is because Razor Precision and Solar Fulmination take up 9 in the class item slot. So I was like, well, of Ordnance, we might as well try to get our grenade back even quicker. Like, if you want to do heat rises with the Firebolt and do the Phoenix Dive and all that, like I showed earlier, you can. Now, the one thing I will admit is that Elemental Armaments, again, you're not always going to have that Solar Elemental Well show up. So you could do something like Explosive Wellmaker. Again, rapidly defeating combatants with explosive damage spawns a Solar Elemental Well, which, again, you pretty much get 1 kill and then 1 headshot on another target, and it blows up like a mile radius. Like I mentioned, there's going to be a million mod substitutions and way you can like mess with this build and everything. Like I already showed 3 things, right? So obviously you can have some mod substitutions, right? Like taking charge, for example. Become charge of life by picking up an orb of power. Again, I just went with elemental charge because you get ×2 right off the bat. But if you want to do taking charge, it's not a bad option, especially paired with something like harmonic siphon or any of the like solar arc or void siphons or kinetic siphon. Again, being able to rapidly have some final blows with the damage matching your subclass type, which creates an orb of power. Again, solar, Vex is solar. And then again, there is a fragment called Ember of Wonder. Rapidly defeating multiple targets with solar ignitions generates an orb of power. So again, if you did want to use the Raise Precision with solar fulmination, again, you could pair it with that. And then the only other mod that I'd really look into using is something like Bountiful Wells. Again, anytime you spawn 1 well, it spawns 2, so that can be helpful. Now, weapon-wise, obviously, a lot of the builds that I talked about utilize Vex Mythoclast. I understand not everybody has Vex Mythoclast, so maybe rocking the Razor Precision build might not be the best thing for this. Again, it just makes it really easy with Vex Mythoclast, but obviously, you can use other weapons as well. Primary, I'm just using a fusion rifle. I have a Adept Deliverance here with Bait and Switch, which is disgusting. And then I have a Vorpal Storm Chaser, but I would also recommend looking into a Cataclysmic if you have a good roll. Since it is solar, you will be able to have some bonus damage from that with Font of Might. Again, you can switch out a couple of things here. I know that the builds I have are very Vex heavy, but other than that, all of the other, build options that are based on fusion rifles and solar, there are plenty of solar fusion rifles that you can get, especially Cartesian Coordinate, which is readily available, and a couple others here in my vault as well. But again, Vex Mythoclast is definitely going to be your best option for all of these builds. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my Rain of Fire max Vex Mythoclast damage PVE build. I think it's absolutely disgusting, and obviously, like I talked about, using some of the mods for in-season and what you can use out of the season. It's going to be interesting moving forward. I'm hoping that we get that mod that we got, I think it was last season, being able to have the fusion rifle stack damage. If that ever comes back with this, ooh, that's going to be absolutely disgusting. But if you guys like what you saw, again, you can always drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on that bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on another one of these build videos. And then obviously, like I talked about in the beginning, if you need help with the Duality Dungeon, follow me on Twitch, join my Discord, we'll be able to help you out. Anyway, guys, we hope to catch you in the next video. Cheers!